Hey, badass business owners. You know, one of the things that's very frustrating is when you go to do these videos and you forget to turn on the microphone and you have to redo the entire thing. Hey, badass business owners. My name is Tammy and I'm here to help you grow your business, but more importantly, grow those profits. And I want to talk about something today that a lot of you are doing, and it's costing you thousands of dollars every single month. And you're probably wondering what that is, but you're going to have to wait a second before I tell you, because one of the things I want to talk about is a lot of you are out there and you just say sales, sales, sales. The most important thing to you in the world is sales. I want more sales. I want more sales. But you've heard me say this. It's a profit game. It's not a sales game. It's about what you keep, not necessarily what you make. Now, do you need more sales? Yes, you need them to be able to grow those profits and continue to make more money. But at the same time, if you're just going sales, 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 you're masking a problem and not even realizing you have it until someone like me points it out to you. And next thing you know, you've lost thousands of dollars. Now, before I go into it more depth, I want to make sure that we all understand the number one calculation that I say that every single one of you guys need to know. And that is sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits. Now, why is that important? Because one, that's the flow of money through your business. Sale comes in, you pay for the cost of goods, then you pay your business expenses, and then you have your profit. And we all know that your profit has three jobs, right? Taxes, retained earnings, and then the owner's draw. But the main thing is when you are just pushing sales, 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 and you're only paying attention to that top line, you are losing sight of those cost of goods and those expenses. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because what happens is when you guys call me up and you're like, Tammy, can I have a coaching session? Can we go over my business numbers? Can we talk? One of the very first things I'm always asking people is I want to see your profit and loss statement. I want to see last month. I want to see the past year. I want to look at stuff. And a lot of times I'll ask you to get access to your QuickBooks so I can kind of see behind the scenes what's going on. And here's what I find a lot of times. Let's just say today is the end of December when I'm taping this. And I'll go in and I'll look at somebody's books and guess what? November's not done. October's not done. And in some cases, even September is not done. Well, if you don't have the last few months done and completed, that means you're going into January using numbers back from September or even worse, August. Well, I can tell you, your January numbers aren't going to look anything like August's. So how are you reacting in real time to the information that you have in front of you? But what happens is you just go sales, sales, sales. Let me go do. All I want to do is do more sales. But meanwhile, you're bleeding money, thousands of dollars, because you're not paying attention. And I'm going to use two examples, real examples from the past. So for example, I have one person that has a really heavy month-to-month office supplies. Well, that number kept creeping up, $500, $700, $1,000, $2,000. And they ended up, because they were so far behind, when they finally got caught up, they realized they had spent $15,000 on office supplies. And the reality is they may have needed maybe $5,000 worth. So that's $10,000 they wasted just because they weren't paying attention and they just kept buying, buying, buying. And now they had at least a year's worth of office supplies that they did not need, and it hurt them now. Will they eventually use them? Probably, but it's a waste of money that they didn't need to do. Another person, for example, wasn't paying attention to the wages, and the sales were going up, and then the sales were coming down, and then the sales would go up because they'd react, and then the sales would go down, and then the sales would go up. But meanwhile, the payroll was staying the same. They weren't changing the payroll. They weren't even looking at it. Next thing you know, they have spent over $70,000 of payroll they did not need to be using because of what was going on with the sales, and they were never paying attention to it. But I've also had this in all kinds of categories. I've had people that were getting charged by something that was on their credit card and they weren't paying attention to it because their credit card wasn't linked to the account the right way. And they were so far behind of entering all those credit card payments. And meanwhile, it was costing them $200 a month for something they weren't paying attention to. Next thing you know, there's another $1,000, almost $2,000 that they've been paying on something that they never even looked at the credit card statements. And like I said, they weren't even inside of their books, because that's a mistake a lot of people make is they have these credit cards or these other accounts, they're not connected. And the only time they ever put the information is when they decide to dive in and get caught up on something. And next thing you know, there's thousands of dollars that they didn't even realize they had been spending in their business because they weren't looking at it. I can't tell you whether it's you doing it, a friend doing it, a family member doing it, a bookkeeper doing it. You have got to make sure that your books are done by the 15th of the following month, because otherwise you're using bad information. You're using old information to make decisions about your business moving forward. And that is really causing you to lose thousands of dollars because once again, you're just sell, 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 and it's masking and hiding those. Because if I only have $1, I'm going to be really cautious about every dollar and where it goes because I have such limited funds. Well, when I start doing $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in sales and above, it's really easy to hide a lot of these, $200, $500 transactions month to month, and I don't catch it until I do get caught up. And in some cases, some people are so far behind years and years that by the time it's all done, they're like going, Tammy, there's no way I spent all that money. There's no way I had that many personal expenses in there. There's no way that I was spending that much on that particular category. And I'll pull it up and there it is, all boom, boom, boom. Oh my God, I spent that much? Yeah. For 3-4 years because you weren't paying attention and now all of a sudden you're getting caught up. I can't tell you how much money is lost due to people not paying attention to looking at what is going on in their QuickBooks, in their monthly stuff. Now, you can go in at any point in time and look at it. I mean, if you just do it weekly, I'm a big fan. 10, 15 minutes every morning, or at least every Saturday morning or whatever it is, get caught up because the only thing you're waiting from the 1st to the 15th are for the bank statements to come in to make sure that you didn't miss anything. But you should be able to go in and look at what your cost of goods and your expenses are as well as your sales anytime, as long as you're staying on top of it. And that's something that if you have a bookkeeper, you need to make sure your bookkeeper knows you want to look at your numbers on a regular basis. You have access to your QuickBooks. They're yours. You know what? You can tell them, I want to have my P&Ls by the 15th of the month. They should be able to do that for you. You should be able, but you've got to do your part, right? You got to answer their questions. You got to get them the information that they need. And by the way, if you have these accounts like I was talking about that aren't connected, you need to get them connected. Now, I'm not telling you to connect your personal accounts because you don't want to do that. But if you have accidental business charges on those personal accounts, you need to get those items to your bookkeeper so they can go ahead and get those locked in. And if you have a business credit card, you need to get that connected so that those transactions come in. I can't tell you how many people are missing almost an entire year of business credit card because it was never connected in the first place. And now we have to go back and add all of that stuff in. And once again, thousands of dollars have been racking up on those credit cards that need to be on there, which leads me to the part, please make sure your business accounts are only used for business. You're only hurting yourself when you're not doing that. And that's what's creating some of this problem because sometimes people think they have money and meanwhile they're pulling out personal, and they start arguing about it, like I was saying, because they think that they have this money and they really don't because it's been adding up all of this time. So the biggest mistake, like I said, that I'm seeing people do is they are not making sure that their cost of goods and their expenses are being keyed in on a regular basis and that they're looking at the information. Because if it's in there and you're not looking at it, you might as well just be throwing that money away too, because it's right there. It's obvious to see. Just look at it. Just look at those question things. You know what? There's going to be times you're going to look at it and it's going to be completely legit. Yeah, you did spend $1,000 on insurance. You do it once a year. Okay, that might be legit. But when you got $200 coming out for something and you have no idea what you're paying for, that's a problem. And guess what? You're going to hit that $1,000 really easy. So quit throwing money away. Quit putting thousands of dollars in someone else's pocket and not in your pocket because you're not paying attention. It's really important that you're looking at your books every single month, whether you're using QuickBooks, which is what I recommend. There's a link below. You can use Wave, you can use FreshBooks. I mean, there's all kinds of them out there that you can use. Just use something, okay? Even if you're writing it down on paper for right now because you're just starting out, use something. Track every dime of the business. Make sure you're looking at everything that's going on. And by the way, don't use that spreadsheet very long. I know it's out there and I've got some that I've used with people. All you're doing is hurting yourself, especially when you can get some books, just using QuickBooks, their most basic plan is going to be like $20 a month or something like that. That's all you need. Trust me. You'll thank me later because you're going to get really good profit and loss statements. You're going to be able to really see what's going on with your books. Like I said, check out the link below. Just get the discount and go do something. I'm not trying to get you. I just want you to have really good books. I want you to stop throwing away thousands of dollars. There's people out there who won't spend, $50 for a good bookkeeping system or $200-$300 on a bookkeeper, but yet they're perfectly fine throwing $500-$700 a month away on other things that they're doing. It just blows my mind. You want to make money. You're doing this to make money. So quit throwing away your money. All right. Stop it. Stop doing it right now. Stop giving your money to other people because you're not paying attention. Stop going out trying to create more and more sales without you looking at what profit you got now and how much money you're throwing away. Because yeah, sure, go out there, bust your butt, work another 10 hours this week to make the exact same profit you'd make by just taking an hour looking at your bookkeeping. Can you see how stupid this is? Can you see why just because you don't like it, that if you just look at it and make it fun, make it adventurous, like you're on a mission, you're an archaeologist, you're trying to find money that's been buried. It's in your books. Go find it. All right. All right. With that, I'm going to get out of here. I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.